However you feel about climate change, this has been an extraordinary year of weather. In the Caribbean, the United States and in Bangladesh, warming oceans have fueled the fury of unprecedented hurricanes and cyclones. There have been raging wildfires, flooding and heat waves. A trend appears to be emerging of bigger, more destructive events.
The science of attribution of extreme events to climate change is still being developed, but there is a clear pattern that more heat leads to longer droughts, leads to longer heat waves, hurricanes, cyclones, typhoons. So it's time to act now.
So, time for the world to build on the unifying moment of the Paris Agreement to speed momentum in the accord in which all nations of the world, bar Syria and Nicaragua, pledged to do their utmost to keep temperatures from increasing below 2 degrees C? Well, yes, until President Trump said this.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
The White House view is at odds with the world. Nicaragua has now joined the Paris Agreement. The United States and Syria, the only dissenting nations on Earth. So now all eyes will be on Bonn to see whether the Paris Agreement can hold firm despite the US pullout.
I mean, clearly America is an important country, but what you saw when President Trump announced his withdrawal in June, that a lot of countries stood up and said, you know, we're still doing this. This is important. Even with the federal government not stepping up to the plate, you've got subnational actors doing so.
There is plenty of work to do. In its annual review, the UN says a gap between national carbon cutting plans and the actual reductions needed is alarmingly high. As it stands, pledges from nations so far only covers 1/3 of the cuts needed by 2030 to keep temperature rises below 2 degrees Celsius. And carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere have reached record levels. 2016 saw an average of 403.3 parts per million, and the last time the Earth experienced concentrations like that was 3 to 5 million years ago, when the climate was 2 to 3 degrees warmer and sea levels 10 to 20 metres higher. And this is what the head of the UN Environment Programme has to say about that. Eric Solheim says the numbers don't lie. We're still emitting far too much, and this needs to be reversed. To many in the world, climate change has become a dangerous reality. It's not just a question of firefighting a threat, but actually surviving. Nick Clark, Al Jazeera.